What's going on, everybody? It's your boy C-Zar, and we are talking about Bitcoin Cash today. Shout out to the Dragon Riders in the House of the Dragon. Hit that like button, subscribe. Thank you all for being here. It's the 26th day of March, and here we are sitting at about $462.50. We've straight teleported $10 to the downside. I'm getting antsy. I'm thinking that any moment now we could break out, and as we're hanging out at these upper limits, I'm like, we're gonna do it. Let's go. We did address the possibility of pulling back to these exact areas, but I'm fairly positive my call was that we would not do that and instead we'd move up. But whatever. Here we are. We're still in the range. We're not doing anything crazy. We are not breaking out. There's no excessive volume coming in. I think that we look fine. We got about 11 hours, 18 minutes left in the day. Let's get into the short-term stuff, see what the rest of the day has in store for us, hopefully, and then play out the rest of the week and the rest of this month as well. Looking at this here, on the 1 hour time frame, again, as you're moving down, man, there's just really no volume at all. Really weird volume on the way up here. I mean, if you want to say that's the way up, I mean, just weird kind of volume, no interest at all. These low volume environments, you guys, can make for some pretty chaotic movements in a very short amount of time. Again, that makes sense to me because I do believe that we're in this kind of ascending pattern and will break out to the upside. That is kind of my assumption at this point in time. I'm getting ahead of myself though. 1 hour time frame, looking at this here, not a lot of volume on this move down. We look at this from the low, come on now, low to high. Okay, I didn't mean to do that. And we're right at the golden ratio. In fact, we actually tipped that golden ratio perfectly, didn't we? Looks pretty perfect. We could go lower. We absolutely could go lower, but this is a fine area, I think, to expect to find support. We look at this relative low here to this relative high. Come. Something like that. I mean, you're right at the golden ratio of that extension, too. Golden ratio. Not a lot of volume. I would not be surprised if we bounced here. Good price to go long. It's a good price to go long for Bitcoin Cash. 1 hour time frame, looking at the RSI. You've got lower lows here than you did here, right? We've got lower lows in the RSI. We've got higher lows in the price. It's not hidden bullish divergences too far apart, but still just a little perspective there. Like we're more oversold here than we were back here, but we're at a higher level. We've got a higher low. Stochastics are oversold, but looking at this stochastic, I mean, how long do you stay this oversold for? Not really. About that amount of time, but even less than what we got here. About that amount of time, but even less here. Not really. You don't really stay this oversold for this long. It can happen. We were oversold for a long time there, but we dropped from 568 all the way down to we dropped basically $100. I'm not expecting that happens anytime soon. Personally, it can happen. Just because I'm not expecting it to happen doesn't mean that it can't, but that's not my expectation. MACD is building momentum to the downside. That's not good. But again, we've got these like lower lows here where we've got higher lows in the price. The histogram has and can go lower than this level, but there's quite a few iterations where you actually find your histogram bottoms out right at this point. I mean, quite a few times. It's not that it can't. It's not that it can't go lower, but there's a lot of different things saying that we are at a relative area to find support, from the golden ratio to being oversold for a while, and then the histogram levels, the not hidden bearish or bullish divergence, but the lower lows still, the cooling off in these indicators. There's a lot going on that suggests we could find support here. And then that's not even like a fundamental thing. Maybe they're fundamental, but this is, I think, a little bit more fundamental, is that we could find support on this trend line. Maybe it's a little bit more shaved like this. Who knows? We find support on that trend line there. We don't need to find support all the way down here. These trend lines aren't necessarily reliable either. It could be that we go just below this trend line, and that's very common to do, and that's actually where we find support and we move up. Everybody freaks out. Oh no, we've broken through the trend, but really we still have a higher low. Therefore, the trend is maintained. Actually, trends are not defined by these trend lines. It's kind of like contradictory. Uh, Trend lines are defined by higher lows and higher highs, lower lows and lower highs. That's a trend, or choppy sideways stuff. We're looking at the 4-hour time frame here, and the RSI does have higher lows here. We do have higher lows in the price as well. We're oversold. Let's just look at every time that we've been oversold. You know, typically whenever we do get oversold, we don't stop right here. We do go a little bit lower, is what it looks like right off the bat. So that is a counter argument to bouncing here. That's for sure. But we do find these low areas sometimes. Let's just see what happens. Okay, so if we're looking at this here, and I don't know actually if we need to go back this far. We probably only really need this here from like late February, because this is when we've been in this range. So let's do that. Let's do just from late February. Well, when we were oversold here, we were deeper in the oversold zone, but we did see a bounce from about 470 all the way up to about 520, so about a $50 bounce. Whenever we were oversold here, we were not at the absolute low of this little range, but relatively speaking, we were at the low ends. And if you went long right there on blind faith alone, 441, you might have been clenching up a little bit here at 430, but then we rallied all the way up from 440, 430 to 470. So it's a little bit of a move, nothing too crazy. Here, same thing in this last area, we were at a relative low and we moved up. Maybe here we move up from here. We don't have to go lower. We could hold up here, and another reason I'm kind of thinking that is we do have kind of higher lows here, where here we had some lower lows coming in. It's a different kind of dynamic, different trend in price behavior over here, different trend in price behavior over here. But this is probably the most incriminating thing right now that could suggest that we go lower. Stochastics are oversold, which is not necessarily a positive thing. They are reset, which is nice. I would think that we're closer to the quote-unquote bottom of this move than breaking out to the downside. The MACD is not going to help us at all. We're just sideways and choppy. The MACD is useless. Daily time frame. Looking at the daily time frame here, the RSI does seem to maintain this kind of lower high mentality, right? It's a little bit like you're breaking out a little bit, but overall it's still just like lower high stuff. We do have higher lows, higher highs here, relatively speaking. It's hard to get a read on this because it is neutral. It's very, very neutral. So it's not going to help us. I'm not going to weigh in on that. Stochastics rejected the overbought zone. That's no good. The blue line is far away from the orange line. That gives me a little bit of hope that we probably do bounce here. We are at the 50. That's another good reason to bounce. When that blue line gets away from the orange line, typically you see the price go in the opposite direction, or you see the stochastics at least shift in the opposite direction, which in this case would be up, which wouldn't happen if we kept moving down. And the MACD, it's neutral too, really. Not really getting any help from the indicators at all. So we're back where we were yesterday. Just looking at the price and using we're like technical analysts in the days of old, where we just got the price, the candles, and that's it. What I can say is here, we found closing support before. We found support several times before. We even actually found a little bit of support back here. Resistance here at these levels as well. So here has been a significant price point in the past. Might it be another significant price point here? What I can say is we have these higher lows coming in what seems to be a flat top kind of dynamic. If you don't like that, if you want to say, well, it's higher highs and higher lows, okay, we could say that. Maybe it's a bear flag. Maybe it's a bear flag and we move down. If that's the case, though, if you want to run with that being a bear flag, you have to have some strict rules here, right? Here's your strict rules. Strict rules are, if you get a daily close below here, and then you come back up into this range, it wasn't a bear flag. It wasn't, or at least it was a failed bear flag. So if we do that and then we come back up, failed bear flag, that's going to be very bullish. Or maybe we don't look at it like that. We just look at it as some kind of ascending structure as long as we keep maintain higher lows. If we break out of this and we see some volume come in, then maybe we look at it more as a bear flag. And if that's the case, I mean, which I don't think it is, but if it were to be, 369 could be where we go. We're at 462, so that'd be about a $100 move. And there was some line of thinking that we've concluded earlier in this video that would suggest that we could see a $100 move to the downside. Right, that's like what we saw last time. It could happen. We are in low volume moments right now, guys. And in these low volume moments, sudden shifts like this or like this, they can happen. Doesn't mean that we're breaking out here. And if I had to guess, I'm thinking the breakout comes to the upside. But time will tell. So what am I saying here at the end? I'm saying we're in a precarious place. I think that we will maintain higher lows. We're at 462.5. We could go maybe a little bit lower, but same thing as I've been saying over the past week now. I think as long as we're above 450, we're okay. The goal is still to move up to about 540, 550. That's the expectation. And maybe we don't even move up that high. Maybe we get stopped at about 520 to 530 where this golden ratio is. Maybe we do run all the way up to the 786 and we see some volatility. We'll see. It's been a very volatile range here lately anyways, but time will tell. Not here. This has been very neutral for like a month, but you get my point. Anyways, I don't really have anything else I want to say. Hit that like button, subscribe. I'm thinking we're still in this consolidation range. I don't think the world's shattered right now. I think that we will break out to the upside. I'm maintaining that stance until we see a day below 450. Bye-bye.